Hey everybody, welcome back. Long time no see. So I know I haven't been posting a lot for the past several months. Not gonna make excuses, just haven't been able to build up what's the word, the gumption to sit down and come up with something worth talking about and do the editing. So I decided to get back to my roots and we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna do, just started Bullmastiff last week, so we're week 2. Today is beginning of week 2 right now, so we're doing squats. You're going to notice there's a lighter load on the bar. The purpose of this one is volume and to build up work capacity. So we've got 285 on the bar here. We are going to do 4 sets of 6, and the last set is going to be as many reps as possible to figure out the load for next week. And then we got some assistance work, and that'll do it. So without further ado, here's set 1. All right, that's 1 of 4. So, what was I going to say? One of the nice things about this lighter load is it's a good excuse to acclimate to some new squat shoes I got. These have about 1.25 inch heel lift. Basically, my hip mobility sucks and my tibias are short relative to my femurs. So what happens is when I go down into the bottom position of a squat, I lean forward a lot. If you guys have watched any of my previous videos, you've noticed I've got a lot of forward lean in my squat. These shoes will help to artificially lengthen my tibias, allowing me to drop more into a quad dominant position. The point on this one isn't to lift more weight. It's to specifically target quad development. I was noticing that while my squat was going up and up and up, all my soreness was always, in the hamstring and groin region, and my quads weren't getting the stimulus I wanted. Don't get that twisted. Any movement that extends the knee joint under load is going to hit your quads, but they weren't getting as much direct stimulus as I wanted, so I got these shoes, which once again is kind of bringing my knee forward of the toe a little bit, placing more of an emphasis on my quadriceps as opposed to my more hip and glute dominant squat pattern. So just trying to round out leg development a little bit. I guess long-winded way of saying it's a good excuse. All right, it's 2 minutes, should be enough. One, two, three. It's another 2 minutes. There's nothing strict or magic about 2 minutes. Just trying to get this done before my lunch break is over. Plus, like I said, the weight's not that heavy, so just ready to go more quickly. We'll rest longer next set though, because that one's as many reps as possible. So these have been 6, etc. Probably aiming for 12 to 15 on my last set. Two more. Yeah, so we're gonna take probably between 3 and 5 minutes on this one. For this, as many reps as possible. I'm not really gonna treat it as many as possible because one, I could probably grind out a bunch of these at this weight, but what it would cost me is one, form would be bad, and number two, I would have DOMs that would cripple me for the rest of the week. So I'm intentionally capping myself at about 12 to 15 on here. Unless, I get to 15 and it just doesn't feel like I've done any work, but I don't think that'll happen. One of those things you gotta manage, which still not great at it, but you gotta actively consider that that tightrope between stimulus and recovery. You don't want to work so much that you can't recover for your next session. So this is, heavy squatting once a week. The goal is to be able to squat again and be fresh next Monday to increase that load, but also I don't want my legs and posterior chains so cooked that I can't deadlift on Thursday. So it's one of those things is you just you can't go balls to the walls every session. You got to actively plan. Another thing you may have noticed since last time I uploaded a video is I'm fat as shit now. I'm just coming off of a bulk that basically lasted from October through January of last year. Got my body weight up to 245, which was, great at getting my squat up. I was doing like sets of 4 at 425. But then I saw a picture of myself. I'm like, man, I look fat as shit. So I'm going to take this opportunity to sacrifice a little bit of weight on the bar just to fit in my pants better again. I'm not buying new clothes and can't rely on stretchy pants forever. So just trying to eat like a normal human being and put the work in. That said, I did crush a 6-pack of Dallas Blondes yesterday, so we're still easing into it. Got about a minute left. A little bit of grass on here. All right. Let's hope I didn't overshoot it. 7, 8. 10. Try to tighten back up, which is hard to do. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. Black. Whew. Let me introduce you to my favorite note-taking app. Just a notebook. All right. I'm gonna catch my breath real quick, and then I'm gonna hit my first assistant exercise, which is gonna be RDLs. These are gonna be light because we're doing 4 sets of 12. So right now, I'm trying to decide if I want to do 225 or 185. I did 225 last week for 3 sets of 12. Oh, this is adding a whole nother set, and it's supposed to be like an RPE 7. It was probably closer to a 7 or 8 last week instead of the 6 it was supposed to be. So I think I'm gonna lean towards 185. Do 1 set, see how that feels, and I might bump up the weight if that just ain't hitting it. Fun fact, I read a study last week about just goal setting, and what they found was basically range goals, where we just did a range goal right there. Said I was going to shoot for 12 to 15 reps. And basically what the study found was that when you set range goals like that, most results in the population settle at the two extremes of that range. So I was more likely to, once I said I'm going to do 12 to 15, I was more likely to do 12 or 15 rather than settle somewhere in the middle. Just a fun fact on that one, when you guys are setting goals for yourself, make sure they're realistic. Whew. But probably set that low end higher than what you're going to be, you know, happy with. Whew. Whew. As you can see, I pushed out and went with 185. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use these hook straps. Grip is really irrelevant for this one. What I want to do is target my lats, my hamstrings, and my glutes. So I don't want to be worried at all about my hands getting tired and costing me reps, especially because I'm doing 48 of them in total. So we're just going to take that out of the equation and make sure that we're targeting the main movers and not getting hit up and overly stressing a weak link. That's irrelevant. Not irrelevant, physiologically, but for the goal at hand. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. It is muggy today. All right. Yeah, that's just enough lactic acid buildup to be uncomfortable without being a struggle. So while I'm doing those RDLs, what I'm focusing on is keeping my lats engaged throughout the entire movement to keep that bar close to my body, and then ensuring that the bar moves up and down in an imaginary slot right above midfoot. So as I hinge at my hips, my ass is going back to make sure that the bar stays in the center of gravity. I'm not coming forward to midfoot with that. My body is getting out of the way to allow the bar to travel in that efficient path. All right, let's get that second set. Yeah, so these are supposed to be, like I said, no, this is 4 sets of 12. My assistant sets later on are 12 to 15, so I was getting myself confused, but you know, these are hard set at 12. You probably can't see it on the camera, but a colony of fire ants has set up shop underneath my mat. And every time I deadlift or do an RDL or something, it stirs them all up. And right now there's about 24 fire ants just angrily biting my 45-pound plate. To no avail, of course. They're gonna bite it, nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna do reps, they're gonna fall off, and then they and their colleagues will be crushed beneath the weight of my iron. Perhaps such a fate awaits us all. Yeah. Whew, got a pump in my hams. So, if you find the Bullmastiff program online, you're going to notice that on top of the assistance exercises that I am doing on Mondays, they also want you to do a quad specific assistance exercise. And normally I would do it. It recommends like the leg extension basically. As you can see, I don't have access to a leg extension, so a lot of the quad dominant movements that I could do to supplement this is more multi-joint activities such as, you know, lunges or goblet squats or something. And what I'm noticing with this volume that my body's unaccustomed to right now is that additional volume over the multi-joint range of motion, you know, that mimics a squat or a deadlift, really would just add junk volume. So I'm not doing those. If you have access to a, you know, leg extension, single joint exercise like that, fully recommend, fully endorse doing it. Or if you just got more gumption than I do, fully endorse doing it. I'm just explaining why mine might be a little bit different. Perhaps I just don't have that dog in me. Whew. I checked and I'm not seeing any dog. Oh. Last set. Yeah, this was the right call. My hamstrings are already a little bit noodly, shall we say. So I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. Whew. All right, so that's it for RDLs. Catch my breath for a second, and then we're gonna do 3 sets, 12 to 15 for barbell rows. And I'm just gonna do 135 on that because we're higher volume. Come on. I'll just take these off now because we're done with them. Yeah, that was effective. Basically, I've got a pump and lactic acid buildup from here all the way to the top of my hip, all through my every bit of my hamstring, and what's that? Medial is inside, so it's not proximal, because proximal is like fingertips or toes. Anyway, the outside of my hips is where I'm feeling it. All right. Let's do some rows before the blood returns to my brain. One, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. It's not a lot of weight, but after the that's what I'm looking for, that time under tension just from those light RDLs, because remember, we did about 50 of them. Just that 135 is already starting to give me a pump in my lat, so it's nice when you stagger them like that. Whew, I'm sweaty. It's a nice cool day, but it's a little muggy. So that sweat is just sticking to me. There you go. It's a nice paperweight too. One, two. Una más. Right here. That's where I'm feeling it. Thirty more seconds. Oh, I stopped my watch. It hasn't been counting this whole time. Okay. Well, let's start that back up. How embarrassing. Last set, and then we move on to good mornings. $15. Woo! It's a little over the top, I'll admit. All right, so these good mornings, they're in that same 3 sets for 12 to 15 reps. I'm gonna be shooting for 12 on these. And the reason is this is just a little heavy for me on good morning. And posterior chain's already fatigued from squats and RDLs. So we're not gonna try to overreach on these. And what we're doing on these is, the goal isn't to get, you know, a perfect 90-degree bend at the waist and come up. Because just the way my proportions are, if, you know, the barbell's on my shoulders and I bend 90 degrees at the waist, the load is gonna be 4 to 6 inches in front of the midpoint. So what we're doing is it's kind of be very similar to the RDL, except the weight is on my shoulders instead of in my hands. I'm gonna be making sure the bar stays in a direct path above midfoot And really I'm hinging at the hips and getting my body out of the way. And basically I'm going down until I get a good stretch in my hamstrings and I'm popping back up. I'm not trying to, you know, we're not flexing our lumbar spine at all on this. Its job is to just stay rigid and act as a lever to transfer force. The power for all of this is coming from your hips and your hams. Whew, I'm tired. Hitting that, I don't want to do this wall. Easy peasy. Ah, hold on. Ah, it's an ant biting me. Ants in my pants, man. Ten. One, two. Almost done. One, two, three, four. We're getting tired. Oh, when you're getting tired like that, that's when you got to be careful, because form starts to break down. Whew. And if you get sloppy with a loaded barbell, that's when you get hurt. It's about that discipline, which I lack. Just gotta breathe. And then we're gonna finish off with a couple sets of hanging knee raises, which I gotta tell you, I hate with a passion. I hate them so much. All right, only way out is through. $11. Oh. Whew. The sweat is stinging my eyes. All right, we're getting close to being done. Thanks. Give me a second, it's the last one. I just have to work up the gumption to go through with it. All right. Whew, all right, that's all for today. Whew, if I'm still alive tomorrow, we're benching and doing some arms. Appreciate you sticking around. Catch you next time.